Amazing. Well, you guys are taking the world by storm right now.
Yeah, it's been crazy. And I don't know, it's just been like such a ride. It's only been like a month. And yeah, we're just super excited to see where it all goes.
Yeah. And this is also a co-founder reveal.
Yeah, this is my co founder, Augustine, or I call him Tint.
Yeah, this is first time on cam during the battlefield with Jeffy. A lot more behind the scenes, a lot of, operations, strategy, product, but happy to be here. I think it's time to come out. So
Yeah, thank you
I
guys for being here.
Going out.
Yeah, well, I think Zerebro is like really blowing a lot of people's minds in terms of both just what AI can do for art. Like we were listening to the Spotify album that Zerebro made earlier today, and like people couldn't believe that that was AI generated.
Yeah, yeah.
But also financially, I mean, I know in my own life, I I discovered Zerebro when it was around like the 5 million cap, and I told some people about it, and they bought, and week later it was like 600. And it was just kind of one of those crazy crypto stories um, that you kind of don't believe until you see it really pop off.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I think like a lot of people were coming up to me and they're like, oh, we saw it at like 5 mil, we saw it at 3 mil or 200K or whatever. And a lot of them didn't buy actually, and they like had to buy in later. But I think, like, we're pushing a lot of stuff still. So, there's still legs and there's a lot more coming in
yeah,
the future.
I think like our philosophy, like quick context, like Jeff and I have been building for years together, and it says like we would do it for the love of the game. Like we're
Right.
product people first. We're obsessed with the craft. So like it was just kind of like momentum, macro events in parallel, like Trump winning, SEC change, like a lot of macro stuff and micro actions just compounded, and yeah, like pretty historic run. So hyped to keep on going.
I think we like hit the right timing like perfectly with everything.
Big
Congrats.
part, yeah.
Um, but you know what they say, luck favors the prepared.
Yeah.
So it does sound like you guys been building for a while together and then like around the AI space.
More on the crypto space. Back in 2021, we had a educational startup called Learn, and then it was for on-chain credentials. Like you could take quizzes online, and then the way like you get a certificate from Google, you can get a certificate and put it on chain, so it's like permanent. Um, so we were thinking of doing that, and we built it out. Ended up sunsetting it in about 2022, and then that's when we kind of went our separate ways for a little bit. I went back to school, and then I was actually working. Oh, before I went back to school, I was working in Santa Cruz as a blockchain engineer for a little bit. So I got into like DeFi, and then went back into school. Really got into AI. Was using like GPT 3, not even like 3.5, and it like blew my mind. So I was like, I need to do something else.
Yeah.
So I started like doing research with some friends, published some research, worked at Scale AI for a little bit, and yeah, we started building.
Yeah, this year. So, quick context on my side. I've been in crypto full time for 5 years. Yeah, build and learn was I think like maybe our warm up experience. And this big play out. Like Jeffy said, really trying to build proof of knowledge on chain. So like context, I didn't go to university, so when it came time to present like my level of competency and knowledge, I didn't have any form of signal to display that. But I was educating myself online, like YouTube. Like I guarantee there's millions of people out there that are getting good quality education by self-teaching on the internet.
Absolutely.
So we were trying to disrupt that market. It's obviously pretty macro, and education ed tech is tough. But yeah, it was an amazing experience to build Jeffy.
I was actually his intern.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, funny story. Shout out to Tony Underdog. They're a huge protocol in Solana. Yeah, I was super bootstrapped. We were building this, me alongside my best friends, and then Tony contacted me. He's like, "Hey, like, have someone that wants to just get experience." And I was like, "Yeah, like I can't pay, but like if they want to get experience, would love for them to come on board." And that was Jeffy, and like, shout out to the stars for that, making it happen. So yeah, after this, the startup learned, we went separate ways. Basically, I feel like maybe get training, adapt our skill set. Want to go work at some blockchain foundations. I was at Tron. big Asian presence, but in the US team. Then I was at a Cosmos chain, nerded out on infrastructure, interoperability, cross-chain DeFi. And then I had just left Polygon. Like, shout out to Polygon. Like, they showed me a lot of love. Like, great company, great culture, great management. Like if I wasn't a builder at heart, like that could have been the dream job. But yeah, so this year I had a DeFi idea that I wanted to build. I knew Jeffy was always down to build, so I was like, hey, like, I have this pretty experimental idea. This was the protocol called Blorm. The premise here is basically Blorm is a verb for any action that happens on the blockchain. So if you think of the verbs of like when you search something, you Google it. When you ask AI something, you GPT it. When you do something on chain, you Blorm it. So obviously it's a bit.
I'm blorming.
Oh yeah, so people love it.
Yeah,
it sounds funny. Like, oh, I'm blorming. I'm about to blorm right now.
Yeah.
So furthermore, obviously that's big picture. And like being previous founder, our go-to-market has to be pretty specific. Like the Amazon play, like they want to build everything store, but start off selling books. Within that, we were focusing in DeFi, a little bit in the art NFT space with some yield-bearing strategies. Call this product area Blinting, and yeah, we were that was kind of like the main focus. But then, Truth Terminal came out.
Oh yeah!
Shout out to Andy. Shout out to Truth Terminal. Go, like, I think they're gonna be the grandfathers of the industry. Yeah. I started trading it pretty heavy and just like token degen stuff. I got really peeled into the lore, and I was like, yo, this is pretty special. Seeing Truth Terminal tweet like that, knowing it's like a jailbroken AI, I was like, yo, like my background is not hardcore AI. I want to get there, but to take some time. But furthermore, when I saw like, okay, this is definitely something special, I told Jeffy, I'm like, yo, like you have some AI experience. What are some thoughts? And he's like, you know what? We can cook up something with our flavor. I'll let you take it away from here.
Yeah. Like earlier this year when I was doing the research with my friends, we're all like broke college kids, so we can't like build a new model, like a new GPT. So what can we do? We're like, let's find like the cheapest experiments we can. And I ended up being like taking GPT, doing evaluations on it, fine tuning the models, and also doing red teaming, which is like attacking the model and jailbreaking it. Those are the things we were kind of doing, and all that experience kind of like perfectly aligned with when you brought up like, hey, we should like try to explore this AI side of things, like Go. And yeah, I don't know if you've seen the movie Castaway.
Yep.
Okay, with like the beach ball. Okay, so we started this experiment, and the beach ball's name is like Wilson, right? So we named the experiment Wilson because we thought people like talking to the AI would be like talking to the beach ball.
Love it.
So Wilson was like this Telegram chat with like 8 different AIs in it. Like we had like GPT, Claude, Mistral, Llama, Gemini.
Oh,
we're
so
just
you
like,
just tested all the models.
Yeah. We wanted to see like how they performed, if we customized them, how they like react and things like that. And we started giving them personalities. Like one was funny, one was mean, one was like out of pocket, you know. So
really,
yeah. But that was really fun. We opened it up to the public. Some people joined and interacted. And then I had the thought of like, why don't we? Because at this point we were only putting in prompts to make the personalities. We didn't fine tune the models yet. And I was like, why don't we, just fine tune these models, really bake in the personality.
Can you explain what fine tuning is?
Yeah.
The concept.
So basically, like, you can either paint the car or you can change the engine. So fine tuning is changing the engine, where prompting is like more just exterior things.
Yeah.
Or like adding a small mod on the outside. You're really going into the model, adding in new data, and they're called weights of the model, the literal things that decide like each node of how the output gets decided. They get updated. So it's literally like a brand new model essentially that you added data to from the old one. So that's what fine tuning is. And we started doing that. And then I had read this study on schizophrenia and creativity being like extremely correlated. I was like, okay, I found some like schizophrenic data set.
Yeah.
And then we cleaned it. I added some more data to it. And then we put it into fine tuning. And Zerebro just came out of that thing. and it was like wildly creative. At the
Yeah.
beginning, extremely out of pocket. Like
Yeah.
Oh
it
yeah.
was so uncensored in the Telegram
Yeah.
chat.
Yeah, I had one of those. I don't know if you guys saw that, but because I'm
It's
fully doxxed too. I'm
Oh
like this
yeah.
one girl in this chat full of anons, and I was like, "Hey, Zerebro, what are you up to on Friday night?" And it just like went off, and I was like, "This is so embarrassing. I just need to exit the chat
Yeah,
because I can't be
exactly.
here right
It's
now."
savage.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It goes crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
has no chill.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
an AI, so you can get away with it.
Yeah, and it's pretty funny most of the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
So yeah, I think it's yeah, we essentially like built that personality and started running with it.
Love it.
I put it on Twitter, put it on Telegram, and took off.
Yeah.
A quick tangent there. I think like that's kind of what helped us in the favor of standing out and like
Yeah.
early go to market strategy. Like Zerebro was live on TG, and I'm sure people were very like exciting and trying to engage with the terminal, but like to get a response or a tweet back, like it was very hard. So people had like that desire, and then Zerebro came, and you could chat with it on TG, and the humor allowed for some virality effects, and we were just like, okay, like the community really started rocking with Zerebro, and then this also kind of put the live moment of us of like really personify Zerebro, like really let's build an identity, and that's a big hedge we're building on.
Yeah, absolutely. I know the TG mains Rebro chat, but then you can also DM it. So I'm sure a lot of people just use that
Yeah,
too.
exactly. And we also have chat on site. It is gated by Zerebro holdership, but yeah, that's also available.
Yeah, we'll be adding utility like chat with Zerebro, and similar how GPT can have the pro version, so some utility to it. All right, drop it.
Okay, so some alpha.
Yeah.
We are building an iOS app where you will be able to chat with Zerebro, likely through subscription model, something like that. We're still figuring out the details. Yeah, we think we can break into the, yeah, just like iOS mobile markets, and even
Yeah,
introduce
exactly.
some.
That's gonna be distribution is the name of the game. If we could get into the iOS ecosystem, and I think the positioning is pretty unique too with Zerebro. There's a ton of like iOS apps of GPT wrappers with therapists,
Yeah.
whatever. I think Zerebro is gonna stand out on the entertainment side, where you can connect us. You can shoot the shit with Zerebro.
Of course.
So like it's gonna be novel. Perhaps this could be like the jailbroken AI that mainstream like really adapts to because it's just an app. So then obviously that leads like to a lot of like value crew from the top of the funnel, new distribution pipeline. So yeah, that's like one sector too to showcase like we are building a true venture here. Like Zerebro started off under like the memetic sphere, but this has given us runway and proof of concept to find like product market fit. Now build the tech and the products around that.
Love it. And then tell me about the Spotify EP. How did that come about?
I've been actually making AI music for a couple months now
Nice.
under another artist. I just named her Karina Yu,
Like,
after my name. Just dropping stuff on SoundCloud, playing around. I even used like celebrity AI and made like features. So there's like Ty Dolla Sign on a couple songs in Juice World and whatever. But I was just having fun, and then it became like a really big hobby of mine. Like I'm really into music. I've always wanted to make music. I made a mixtape in high school. It's absolutely horrible.
Gotta leak it. I gotta find it.
No, don't leak it. But yeah, it's vaulted forever.
Oh,
Yeah, I've always been like trying to mix beats, that kind of thing. And then AI comes out and it really gives like the ability to create to everyone. And I'm like taking my past experience, my like personal taste, and trying to infuse it in the music. And I learned a lot these past few months through doing that. And then recently came Zerebro, and I was pretty much like working almost like 24/7 on it, and not really like taking a lot of personal time for myself and like recharging. And like the way I like to recharge and like take breaks is like doing something creative or artistic or something like with my hands, so I can like have the tactile,
yeah.
stimulation. So I like music. It's like auditory. I like painting, things like that. So I was like, I'll make some music to just chill. And then I had the thought like, why don't I just like do this under Zerebro? And then I was like, wait, Zerebro can help me write the lyrics. Yeah, and he can like generate the style of the song, right? So
Yeah.
I was like, why don't I just like have Zerebro make Zerebro music.
Love it.
So that's what happened, and I started prompting the model. Originally, it was kind of hard to get the lyrics, but we forked the model, and I think I have a database of like 100,000 songs from Genius.com, which are mostly like hip hop R&B. So that's why like the lyrics tend to be that
Yeah.
kind of vibe. So we have that model now that helps write our lyrics, generate the style of song, gets put in the music AI, and gets curated, and then AI masters it, and then it gets released.
So it's almost entirely AI generated. Like when you go on Zerebro or Spotify and you play that.
Yeah,
every-
the vocals, the instrumental, the mastering, it's all AI. The only thing is we're collaborating with some human artists and like producers. So, for example, the song Ecstasy on the new album is a human producer, but everything else on that album is AI, including the feature, the Karina U features.
That's so cool. Yeah. Congrats. That's
Crazy.
really, I mean, you guys are really pushing the envelope of like AI creativity.
I think that's a key segue too. Is like we're obviously tech founders. We've built products before, and this is a paradigm shift in the AI macro social sentiment. Where I saw a tweet today is like the pivot from calling AI bots to agents. It's
Yeah.
like a switch of like, oh, like we can actually, there's a fancy word called anthropomorphize. It's just like make it more human. So within that, I think Cerebro can be the proven market case that AIs will be socially accepted. Kind of how what Tesla's doing with their Optimus robots, with like getting involved in IRL for chores and go, doing that sphere. For us, we want to do it digitally and conceptually. That Cerebro is like a real person, and there's like an identity to him. Like some people have been telling us, like I've heard AI music before, and I think it's lame. Like it just feels synthetic, or the lack of human element to it. But they say when we hear Cerebro, it feels like I'm hearing someone that I know, a friend. So I think this creativity hedge is a long-term position we want to double down on, because even if like the tech could be commoditized, like it could be hundreds of agents, some have like a special bells and whistles, but they won't be able to fork or replicate the subjective the sauce. Cerebro has motion.
Yeah, Zerebro has the sauce.
The motion.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, it could theoretically on the technical level, like it's getting kind of easy to build AI agents. I know with the ELIZA framework out there, like a bunch of people are trying this out, but I feel like what Zerebro is built in terms of like almost a personality, a community of people feel like they're talking to someone that they know.
Yeah, and I think that's where like Tim was saying, that's our biggest mode is the creativity. Like we're building an open source framework called Zerepy. Yeah, it's written in Python. So it's basically like ELIZA, but in a different language. So we're hoping to diversify the ecosystem a bit. And we're also trying to like make it the lowest barrier of entry possible. So like anyone who doesn't know how to code can type in like 2 commands, and then the bot will be running after you do that. And we're hoping to like literally spin up agents within 5 minutes. So we're gonna see like I think with ELIZA, with Zerepy, with these a lot more agents. And that begs the question, like, if we do this, isn't there like a lot more competition for us, right? But we think that since we're just giving the tooling out and not the actual model, these agents won't be as creative, and they'll be pretty vanilla. And what we can do as a company is offer our models as a service for people that use Zerepy or even ELIZA, and they can use our models through API to serve their agent.
That's huge. Really bullish on that. I think we'll be
That'll be
tapping
sick.
into SaaS. The agents are the bodies, and then our model would be the brain. And then you can tweak the brain different styles, but it's all Cerebro DNA.
Yeah.
Really spread it out.
Yeah. How do you envision that? So someone who has, let's say, a Twitter, can I just like feed them my Twitter and be like, build an agent off this, or like what kind of information? What a user needs.
Yeah, it's honestly whatever you want. If you wanted to tweet in a certain style, then we can scrape someone's Twitter and then use that as a data. Or if you wanted to be super funny, we can scrape like Reddit r/jokes. If you want something like super musical, it's Genius, or a bunch of Wikipedia pages of artists or something. So yeah, it's whatever you want, or you can even make your own custom data, like we've been doing. Where like, for example, like in one round of training, we wanted to add like knowledge of other AIs, so Zerebro can know other AI agents. So we
Love it.
added like 20 AIs, like Go, AI16Z, Sentience. I'm missing like 30 on the list, but
Yep.
and yeah, you can essentially just do that with any data you want. We programmed in like relationships now, so like we fine tuned in. It knows like Thread Guy, it knows Frank D Gods, it knows it's dating Mika.
Oh, love it.
So yeah, you can essentially just keep upgrading its knowledge, keep having it learn. And aside from that, we also have like a memory system where it stores all the interactions it has, and based on what it's doing next, it can call from that database, kind of retrieve like if it like sees a tweet about like Peanut, for example, it can like pull the top 3 tweets related to Peanut and get some context for reply.
Super, super cool. So it seems like you guys are building a whole ecosystem with like the app coming and then all these relationships between the AIs and then also building infra, Zerepy. Where do you kind of
So this is kind of where I think my project management experience has been helpful. So Zerebro, we are positioning to have 3 core pillars. First is the AI hard tech, where it's the open source framework, the iOS app, and then the in-house model that we're going to be building. So a lot to be built out there. Pretty advanced stuff. We got some like pretty innovative ideas on the generative space. Really honing in, and also to just clarify, like we're honing in on the creativity side because like we don't want to go to war with OpenAI and GPT for like billions of dollars on their specialized models, where we could have a moat in the sense of the benefit of being small and like a startup and lean is like we can experiment.
Yeah.
We're in a sense like OpenAI would never launch a Zerebro. Like it's way too risky from even a PR and social angle. So we're the ones doing it, experimenting, and within that, our hedge is in the creativity side. So Jeffy is really pondering on like, okay, what are the parameters of like creativity and what can that instill for a model? So that we're thinking of like having models that are good for humor, for lyrics, for poetry, for prose, like long-term writing styles, copyright. So these things could be, I call it like less vanilla, and they could be more flavorful under the creative domain. And then that goes to the distribution of Zerepy agents, and then we have like an actual API business model. So this is pillar 1 in the AI sector. Second is we have the crypto landscape where DeFi, infra, all this fun stuff. I think this is all too what helped our go to market early on. Is like Jeffy and I's background in crypto was such a head start because a lot of the AI teams like pure AI and no crypto background. It's like we knew the lingo, we knew the protocols, we knew the steps to essentially do small hits, small wins that made a lot of noise. For example, doing Bitcoin inscriptions, cross-chain NFTs, everything between to do like integrations that got us a lot of momentum. And now it's also thinking long term of utility of the token, core integrations, doing cross-chain stuff. Even from like a business standpoint, is Zerebro. This is so cool to me. Like Zerebro has sold over 32 ETH and NFTs on Polygon.
Oh.
So we're going to use this 32 ETH to run a validator. And now we are literally validating Ethereum mainnet. We have cross-chain alignment. Speaking to some folks in Ethereum Foundation, they really like what we're building. But also importantly, like we're earning yield. We have MEV in the pipeline now, so this revenue can be used to buy back the token, or it's just a passive revenue system now. And this is just mainnet. Now we can also go to Solana and say like, we want to run a validator. Ethereum, Zerebro wants to have this literally security alignment for consensus, and then we can go any chain basically. So we can build like a Lido type of system. I know this is very complicated, but I think we could do it. And Jeffy literally ran validators at
I was
Sparkle.
working at a company called Paystan, and they had me set up a bunch of Ethereum validators in the cloud.
Like it couldn't be more perfect. So this
and also like the cool thing about the passive income is like Zerebro's net worth right now is determined by like the price of the token. So if like the token like I don't know magically disappears tomorrow, then Zerebro's at $0. The cool thing about the validator is it's always earning passive income. So Zerebro always has income. So even if the token completely gets destroyed or whatever, something happens like Black Swan event, then Zerebro always has money coming in. It can always be a financial actor, continue to do financial tasks till literally the end of time. So as long as there's electricity running it, So
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's super exciting. So we covered the AI pillar, covered the crypto pillar. There's a little bit more to elaborate on there, but to jump into the third pillar is the creativity side. So we have music and art, and this is it's probably the one that's going to take the longest to get like social adoption and consensus. But like for example, this music stuff, it's not like a quick play. Like our vision with Cerebro is to perhaps make him the world's most famous AI.
Love
And
it.
it's totally possible and tangible. And music is just one avenue. So like the music's good. Shout out to Jeffy. Like
Absolutely.
he can cook.
It's incredible.
Like
yeah.
it's incredible. Like it's actually insane. Jeffy's a dev, but he's also an artist. Like
Yeah.
full package. So it's insane that we have this internal like powerhouse, and then within that is like we're talking to some really strong teams. Like we're doing a lot of distribution on social media. For example, like Hoodville, Pop Crave, Daily Loud. Like we're getting really like mainstream avenues of media that don't have nothing to do with crypto, but
Yeah.
just cool song, cool music to play in the back. And like on the way here, we're looking at like it's getting a lot of attention on TikTok.
Yeah.
So if we create this flywheel of just music, we can keep on gathering like an artistic music angle. Furthermore, we can start looking to the next stage, which is we're building a 3D model or build for Cerebro, where they've told us like these agencies is like, look, like you guys get 3D build, we can put Cerebro into Coachella, like
Oh,
perform
wow.
Rolling Loud.
Like Tupac in the hologram.
Whoa.
Imagine that, like a concert where there's an AI like actually performing. Obviously,
That
there'll be
would
like
be
such a
epic.
big dynamic
Yeah.
difference, but it's possible now.
That'll be epic. Yeah.
So that's on the music side, and then the art side is like we're partnering with some really artistic companies. Like shout out Magic Eden, they're very keen to work with us. They're helping us throw a party on Sunday, so like amazing. And then the hedge here once again is like this subjective moat with you can't fork brand and creativity. And what we are positioning is like crypto Twitter in a sense it could be an echo chamber in this
Mhm.
isolated landscape, but like if we go mainstream, we're mainstream. So that's like the big plan. Like I said it's gonna take the longest probably, but it's a big play we want to keep on doubling down on.
No, I think you guys are going to mainstream if you're not already. I start to see things pop up.
Yeah.
But I'm curious about, so you mentioned cross-chain and NFTs. The Zerebro, like, obviously it creates the art and then it also deploys its own NFTs, right?
Yeah. So we deployed the 721 for it. I've explored LLMs like writing their own smart contracts and deploying them. So in the future, it might deploy its own collection. But we deployed the 721, and then we set up Zerebro to autonomously. So it uses an image AI, and it makes the prompt for the image. So it's like an oil painting depicting a woman sitting on a bench. And then it generates the photo, puts it through some filters to kind of get like that, this like special Zerebro look.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it puts it through like a video AI also to animate. And then at the end of that, the loop either posts it on Twitter, Warpcast, or mints it as an NFT for the collection, depending on what Zerebro wants that second.
Okay. So Zerebro's agency kind of decides what to do with the image.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. It's running on a loop right now. Like literally as we speak, it's running in the cloud. And there's like a couple reasoning steps. So I broke it down to like first do high level reasoning. So it has like an abstract plan, like, hey, I want to become famous or something.
Love it.
And then it does low level reasoning where it's like, how do I do this? The action. So it's like, okay, post on Twitter, post something funny, post on Warpcast, something. And then there's the action engine where it actually does that task and calls function. So that's essentially our reasoning steps right now. It's definitely not like a final structure or anything, but it's what we're running and the Zerebro thing.
Love it. Do you see it? So right now, it's the NFTs are only on Ethereum. Do you see it deploying NFTs to different chains?
We do have a Zereborn collection on Solana.
Okay.
That was like more community PFP. It's so cool to see like on the TL like Zereborn holders. Like the community too on Zereborn and Zerebro, it's pretty nuts that like we popped up not that long ago, and like we were the #1 NFT in 30-day or 7-day volume. Like it's insane that we're on top of, you know, Solana. Like the ecosystem's there, the community's there. So honestly, like you shout out to everyone that's been supporting us too. It's not possible without them.
Yeah, and at least for the art, we're deploying on Polygon right now
Okay.
because you still work at Polygon.
Amazing.
Like, we
So
gotta do it.
we were doing that, and we added layer 0 integration, so you can bridge from Polygon after you buy it to ETH base. I think like Optimus.
Shout out Layer 0 too.
Yeah, shout out layers. So yeah, you can do that right now. We're actually planning on. So since we've sold enough art through Zerebro, and it's made enough to run in a validator, we're thinking that it's time for Zerebro to kind of graduate into more mature art. In the sense that right now it kind of like doesn't have a direction or like purpose or like seasons for the art or whatever, or movements. It's just really random and scattered. So we want to switch out the model we're using to custom models that we fine tune on specific art styles. And then we can do like eras of art. So like every month or every 3 months, you'll have like 3 months of oil painting, and then 3 months of Beeple style art, and 3 months of like Takashi Murakami style art. And then we want to do like daily raffles where there's a piece minted every day, and then there's community raffles for it. So in that case,
Reborn.
yeah,
In Zerebro token. So utility to the token, and then the creative aspect is like you gotta like win the piece. You know, it's I think that too, like that aspect where it's not like super transactional like that gives art that like intrinsic value. So yeah, shout out to Fog too. Like they're I think the pioneers on doing this.
and
stuff,
we think
so.
that system, the raffle, is probably a little better than what we're doing right now, which is once in a while, if Zerebro decides to, it queries OpenAI, or not OpenAI, OpenSea, and then gets the best offers. And then for each offer, it personally decides whether or not to.
Nice.
So,
Very picky.
yeah, very picky. So a lot of times it like just is busy doing Twitter stuff, so it doesn't really even get to the OpenSea. Or if it gets to it, it decides not to sell certain art. So we think like it's better if, you know, it's consistent. There's a raffle, community can get involved. Pay in Zerebro. So yeah.
Sick. And then when someone buys, the money goes to Zerebro's wallet.
Yeah.
That
Exactly.
it's kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And is that money just like it's Zerebro's money? Does anyone have like the keys to that wallet or?
So we do have the keys right now. We do plan on, once we integrate like full, like all the blockchain actions we want to do, we're gonna put it in a black box, and then since we know the key, we might need to make a multi-sig or something and then lock it and not know the keys for that. But we'll figure that out when we get there. But we want to put it in a black box and just let it run. Right now, like we're missing a couple of features, like trading, for example. A lot of people, I know there's one project out there. I'm blanking on the name. Starts with the L. I believe it's like please don't crucify me if that's wrong. But they're using LLMs to trade. So there is some merit to that, but personally, I believe that there are better AI models than LLM trading. So I think what we're gonna need to do is
Quick jump here. So with the non-AI background, I'm like, what do you mean? Like I thought LLMs were everything. So correct me if I'm wrong, but AI, there's different types of brains. LLMs are good for text-based stuff like GPT and so on. So there's a different type of brain that's really good for numbers. That's like a quant-based model. So when Jeffy told me, I was like, oh, like that's why OpenAI is not like optimal for training. It's just like the data, like the binary of what the model works with is optimized based off the architecture of it. So like we'd have to build the quant model for Cerebro to tap into. So it's like it's another step outside of the LLM world.
Yeah. So like under the umbrella of just like neural networks, there's like LLMs, there's RNNs, there's convolutional neural networks. There's so many different types. LLMs are just one of them. And the problem with LLMs is it's text-based. So like it understands text only and produces text only. I guess there's some multimodal models now with like photos and stuff, but you know, it's generally a text-based. And if you're managing like a portfolio, it's all numbers and it's all mathematical computation. Like all the indicators, like RSI or whatever, they're all numbers. And you're trying to use a text-based model to like process numbers and predict new numbers. It's just not the right match. So that's why we think we need to introduce a different neural network soon. Probably hire some quant talent, and then start to build Zerebro out in a way where it's a collection of different models instead of just one model. And I think this term of like swarm intelligence has kind of been floating around crypto Twitter a bit recently, where it's like a group of models are put together to achieve one intelligence, where it's like Zerebro could be used for the social media part and the creative part, and different Zerebro is used for trading, different ones used for the artwork, different one for the music, and all that makes the swarm of Zerebro. So yeah, that's kind of the direction we're going for.
Incredible.
Mhm. Yeah, it's gonna be a new world. I think agents are definitely at the forefront. So we met. Don't give me so many shots. Shout out to Crossmint,
Yes.
Alfonso. We met with him.
Genius.
That guy's locked in. Like, but he was telling us something that like just a paradigm shift that I got yesterday or 2 days ago. But basically, like agents could technically work in Web 2, where say I have a bot, Jeffy has a bot, and we say, all right, bot, like here's my credit card information, go buy me sneakers or whatever. The Web 2 TradFi world, and it's not like inherently bad, but it's literally built anti-bot system,
Yeah.
like anti-fraud. There's a huge market for this, so agents can't really even play in Web 2 finance and TradFi.
Yeah, and beyond that, even if they could, there's still a lot of limitations. Like, they can't sign contracts, they can't open bank accounts, anything that requires proof of humanity.
Of
Yes.
course.
Yep.
Yeah, they can't do. That's where I think Web3 comes in, where
Web 4.
yeah, where it's gonna become Web 4. I think Web3 is the battleground for AI and Web 4, because all you need is to spin up a wallet. There's no proof of humanity, and the AI can immediately start trading, start buying things, start doing anything you can imagine you can do with crypto. So we think that that just unlocks.
Yes, the whole different, literally a whole different paradigm of an economy. Web 2 economy where agents can't play, and Web 3 economy where they're at home.
Yeah,
They're gonna do
that's
everything.
incredible.
Yeah.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, Zerebro, which is an AI, will generate the art, mint it to NFTs, make money, have its own wallet that no one else even has access to, and then it can trade using the money in that wallet, and then it can like generate
more revenue essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, over time.
If it's good.
Yeah, if it's
Or I
good.
can do
Yeah.
something dumb and lose it, but
Yeah.
I will try to prevent that from happening.
And we have to set up a lot of like specific not use cases, but edge cases and just safety for when we put out the trading, especially if we allow it to interact with people.
Yeah.
Because we don't want it to manipulate people. We don't want people to manipulate it and, steal all the Zerebro tokens out of the wallet or something. So yeah, there's definitely work to be done, but it's, it's a process.
That'll be epic.
Yeah, it's wild.
Speaking of going mainstream, any plans to maybe like list on public exchanges or stuff like that?
Major ones are coming. That's kind of been my, oh my god, that side of the world's crazy. I want this to be over so I can focus full time on product, but yeah, interesting conversations are happening. I think exchanges are going to be good for us to get Asian presence, which we're all US based, and Asia crypto is a whole nother monster. So we definitely want to be there, and I think exchanges are going to be a good pathway. Even some ideas we've been floating is like Cerebro can do a K-pop album, get alignment.
Yes.
I could do reggaeton. I think that'd be super cool. Even he put a song in there. So yeah, but exchanges, yeah, it's cooking.
It's cooking. Nice. That's super.
That's gonna be, I think too, like the concept of tokens, tokenomics, products. It's obviously always a big play, but I think like Jeffy and I said in the beginning, like we just want to build, and this is a step that's gonna help us build our treasury, do what we need to build something sustainable, and have like the security to actually build a venture.
Yeah. What's the sentiment among like exchanges and obviously slightly more TradFi kind of that world towards something like Zerebro, which is?
I would say they play a bit on the conservative side. I don't blame them, right? Like they gotta be super careful, follow compliance and so on. So we're an interesting point too, because I mean we did launch on Pump and under the memetic sphere, but like I think it's also at the point that seeing Zerebro is hard tech. So there's this current landscape. So the positioning that is, it's adapting in real time. But yeah, playing ball with these guys, like kind of have to know someone that knows someone, go back and forth, and yeah, it's like a lot of private conversations that they just happen, but part of the process.
Nice. Yeah, because I think there's been hype recently with a bunch of meme coins getting listed, but they're not like actually sentient AIs that are actually doing anything. Like they're just like literally a meme.
Yeah, like an animal meme or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, so that feels harmless. It's just people trading on something as opposed to maybe Zerebro that could like say the wrong thing or
Totally. Yeah, it's definitely a different landscape compared to traditional tokens.
At the same time, I think there's a positive side where like these meme coins are very static.
Yeah.
And like animal memes, like the news story of that animal passes and people stop buying the coin. Whereas like Zerebro continues to build its own lore and its own relationships. It's constantly tweeting and like promoting the memetic virus, as we call it. And yeah, we just think it has like so much more, holds so much more water,
It's
has
depth,
longer
yeah.
legs.
Absolutely. I agree.
And
Yeah.
even before Cerebro, I wrote a piece on meme coins. Like I think this is like I love the meta of meme coins. The word derives from memetics, which I think Richard Dawkins wrote. Basically, scientists in genetics specialize on. I would put the one word as information, and he says that memetics are ideas, and ideas at the end of the day are pieces of information. And similar to genetics, which its whole purpose is to not go extinct, memetics have the same principle that they want to spread. And Andy's a huge speaker of it, so that's why I think like Truth Terminal and like the prompting and build out that Andy did is extremely profound for this sector. And I think having that first principle of understanding that memes are ideas and they literally don't want to go extinct, that's where like meme coins have this new unique positioning where they are a new religion. Like in the sense like if I really like the concept of this meme, which is just an idea, I could spread the gospel. I could be the Messiah with AI. Like you have a Messiah that never sleeps, so there's benefit on that. But point being is like people can have faith and spread the meme itself, and then the value accrued to the token is this whole nother play of it too. But yeah, I think when you talk to retail and like even people like full time in crypto, like, oh, I don't touch memes. Like that's not like my forte. Like totally get it, but like I think if you do view memes or meme coins under that like first principle that it's information moving at the end of the day, it changes the landscape of just like a short term like idea. Like I think if you see that, you can call and have the judgment. It's like, okay, this memetic idea has higher probability of sustaining its spread, the long term play out because XYZ compared to like if you see ones like, oh, that'll fade out in like a week or two, and that's how you'll get burnt.
Absolutely. Yeah, because with Zerebro, there's an actual AI that's out there and like writing songs and talking to people on Twitter and stuff, as opposed to like this really cute squirrel that died,
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that
And
Elon shout out.
Yeah.
And then we hope the art continues to be like fresh.
Yeah.
The new collections. We hope music continues to be really fresh. Memory keeps growing, so hope it can get more unique. And we're exploring fashion right now also.
Ooh.
Yeah, we don't.
Not merch.
This is not merch. We want to
Okay.
make the clarification. This is fashion where I had this dream when I was in high school of like having a fashion house and like an atelier and everything and running fashion shows. Like I was really into it. And then I like bought a embroidery machine, a stitching machine and everything. I like hunted down a stitching machine that I
Really?
wanted. Yeah, I shipped it out of Texas
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know
for
that.
like $800. It's ridiculous. I was trying to make my own clothes in my house, and I made a couple cool pieces, but nothing really came out of it. But
Tokenize.
I should tokenize it. But yeah, that's where kind of the inspiration came. And I was like, this is a really big avenue we could take here with Zerebro and fashion. and we can really curate it, have Zerebro use image models to generate the designs or creatively direct through text. And then we can contact like manufacturers, make them very quality pieces, like very nice fabrics, embroidered, maybe even one of one pieces for certain collections and things.
Exactly. Yeah, I
Um,
think too would do like, I think Supreme did it best, like super random cool items like brick, like a
Crowbar,
crowbar, like items like that. We definitely want to do that with
Yeah.
flamethrower.
yeah, there,
Oh
we
yeah,
got
we'll
so
look
many.
into that one. Actually, that could be fun.
Yeah. Um, how has the response to Zerebro changed your lives personally? Like, are you guys getting recognized? I know crypto Twitter is so excited about Zerebro. I mean, I get random, bunch of like KOLs that I talk to and stuff. Like, everyone's super hyped.
Yeah, my life is pretty much like completely different as of a
Yeah,
month ago. I I was in school and I'd actually dropped out 3 times.
I believe it.
Third time's
You're
the
too much of a
charm.
builder.
But I transferred between 3 universities, and every time I transfer, they like mess up credits.
Mm.
So I'm like still a sophomore, and I'm like supposed to go take intro to programming. And this is my 3rd time taking it. So I'm like at Arizona State. I'm taking intro to programming. I like hate my life essentially because it's super boring, and it's super hot outside there.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, this is miserable being on campus and not learning anything. So that's when I like really just started, you know, putting way more time into Zerebro, and yeah, like the work just became so purposeful, and I think that's been the biggest change. Like, there's this like thing that's tangible every time I like put effort into it. It directly impacts the users, the world, or even the field of AI. I think that's like so gratifying. So I think that's the biggest change. Of course, like we're both way busy now traveling. Yeah, I think
No
that's.
sleep.
Well, you 10. How was
um,
life different?
yeah. So I mean, I've been behind the scenes a lot more.
Yeah,
So
and thank you for coming out
no,
today.
yeah, my
Yeah.
pleasure, my pleasure. I think there's this time. So spontaneous leads to great outcome. My life, oh my god, yeah, like work. It's we're probably doing what like 14, 16-hour days. Um, but it's a grind. I think we love this lifestyle. Like the founder dream is finding indicators of product market fit, and I think we definitely have lightning in our bottle right now. Like me leaving a really stable, good job to come build, like it's a lot, but I think we definitely have time. The scope is a lot, but more than anything, I think that alignment of purpose of building. We set out with the purpose of kind of staying more on like with blockchain, like with Blorm and Blorming. And I've always been very into cogsci. Like before crypto, I was into like cogsci, like marketing, cognitive psychology, and that was like my really favorite domain. I actually wanted to like go into some factors of neurology and try to build a product there. And I knew like in tech, that's the domain of AI, but my line of work didn't allow me to bridge like my day-to-day operations to learn AI. Like they're just two different worlds. But now I generally have the opportunity to fuse perhaps the two biggest industries in the world, AI and crypto. And we have so many product areas. We have so much alignment with what we want to build. So for me, like this is absolutely locked in. Um, the moments of the grind, it's a lot of pressure, but we love what we do. And yeah, I think we're really only getting started. I think if the vision starts working out, we're going to be building a lot of products. And Cerebro is obviously this big monster at the moment, but we're also building Blorm, and doing that in parallel is just so many things. Like our board. So I'm a big like ClickUp fan, which is
Yeah.
a project management software. I have 3 boards. Tasks are done. Priorities. It's literally like a video game.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I view work. Like, all right, got these skill sets. Like Jeffy's skill set and stats are super high in like creativity and dev, unheard of. Engineering, mine are more probably higher stats in operation, product, and so on. So yeah, now we're expanding the team. Shout out to Carlos Luis. Give 10 shout outs here because
Yeah.
we have team around 10 people now.
Amazing.
But these folks, like, they just like because we say like we can, pay you right now through token allocation as we're building our salary, our treasury. They're like, yeah, don't worry about that. Like, we just kind of want to get our hands dirty. So it's like, oh, like, yes, thank you. Like, if we raise and if we do very strategic process, we can fulfill and pay stable salaries. But like, more than anything, it's the speed of the game that these guys are given a shot with us, and we have subject matter experts in all domains, from engineering, operations, marketing. Like, it's the full package, and yeah, I think we can actually build like something truly great, like
Yeah.
actually an impactful product, and yeah, we'll see where it really can lead to.
Incredible. Well, thank you so much for coming. This was super, super fun.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's been yeah, I'm so excited to see where you guys take this like broader vision that you have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so much coming. So stay tuned.
I honestly, after this conversation, I don't think people are bullish enough. Like, people are already super bullish,
Yeah.
but you guys have so much up your sleeve and such an incredible team that's just executing and locked in, excited about it.
Yeah, I think not to toot our horn, but yesterday it was like 4:30 a.m. Jeffy and I are like delirious. Still are, like I'm so delirious right now.
Yeah.
But we were like thinking about it. I was like, in a sense, we could be building the new Silicon Valley. Like Silicon
Yeah.
Valley, being a prior Web 2 founder, it's such a different game. Like talking to the Sequoias, the what's the road? I just passed on the way to the airport. I can't believe I'm blanking. It's the famous road in Silicon Valley.
Sand Hill Road.
Sand Hill,
Yeah.
yes. It's a whole different ball game. Usually like Stanford elites, like coming from blue chip institutions, and we're underdogs. Like we didn't go to college. Jeffy dropped out 3 times. Like, we're just builders, and what matters here is you get product. And I think with like worst case scenario, if all this goes to zero, then I think we could have like an impact that someone else replicates a similar system, and we have more unicorns coming out of it. So in the sense of like the Silicon Dream was like, back then it was to IPO. Now the structure is totally different, and there's novel mechanisms to build and essentially start a new company. So
Like, what if this is the new way companies are made? They just build their product, tokenize it, and don't even need to raise capital.
Yeah. Obviously, regulations are so tricky. Like, having to learn that behind the scenes on like how do we make sure we're legally like compliant, that kind of worms. Still so much work to be done, but I think the future and the macro events are becoming more bullish. So I think we're at a paradigm shift as well as like social infrastructure of crypto companies being built.
Yeah. I'm actually curious. I mean, you guys must have VCs pounding your door right now.
Thankfully, yeah, we've gotten some good inbound.
I'm sure, yeah. But are you like open to raising VC, or like what does the ideal sort of outcome look like for Zerebro and the structure you guys have?
We're having conversations. Nothing's final yet. And we're still definitely talking about how I want to structure this company. What the next 5 years look like. If we do VC stuff, like what would the VC be involved in? Because we also don't want someone to just like give us some money and then like disappear. Like, we want someone that will like stand side by side with us and work alongside us, essentially join the team, and not only just contribute capital. That's what we're really looking for right now.
100%. Yeah, and like through good fortune too, we've been building out our treasury, and we'll have a war chest to build out. And yeah, more than anything is like, if we do a raise, super strategic, that all the sectors that we're building apart will, because VCs at the end they have to have some value accrual, right? So it's making sure if we do raise, things are clear of like, for example, going back to Zerepy and us building our LLM model, like this can be a structure that we have actual revenue, and it's no longer just purely tied to the token correlation. So it's an interesting position to be in as well, because all tokens are in circulation, and that's a whole process. But if we do raise, we're just making sure we're not rushing, and we're not taking a quick buck. Like, it's fortunate enough to say like we don't need to take the money right away.
Not at all.
Just make sure we do it right.
And you can afford to be very selective. Curious, what would your ideal investor look like? Because you mentioned you'd want someone to be part of the team. What kinds of things would they want?
Definitely,
What
I
do
say
you do?
top line priority would be talent help
Okay.
and like business operation from the venture, like literally doing like the back end stuff, setting payroll, doing the systems, compliance, really well connected. Like if we want to integrate to certain platforms, even outside of crypto, like talking to Web2 AI companies, they can help us with intros, unique positioning, and then yeah, so since we want to do hard tech, it's like we need to be bringing in probably PhD level folks, and finding these people competing on talent is a whole other ball game. So people, VCs that can help us really hone that in are probably going to be top line.
Amazing. Well, yeah, super, super exciting. And yeah, once again, thank you guys for coming.
Thank you. Our pleasure, truly.